as we welcome a new viewer to the channel, Ethan Mama. Welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel, glad to have you with us here tonight. So, with the first quest now taken care of, let's go ahead and speak with Erwil, one of Riki Tio's friends, to take on our next main story quest entitled Heroic Dreams. Erwil regards you expectantly. Warrior of Darkness, if you finish helping Riki, won't you show us some fighting? Not play fighting, but honest-to-goodness fighting? We already have some enemies that you can deal with. Vampire bats. The guards said that they become a pest around the Crystarium of late. We tried to sneak outside to hunt them, but the guards caught us and sent us home. But they shouldn't mind if you were doing the fighting and we were just watching. Crap, sorry. Dinner is making a cameo appearance for me on right now. The children told us much while you were away, and in preparation Chesimir has kindly furnished us with some lures for the baits. While the creatures won't give you any sport, bear in mind that the younglings will be watching. That's to say, put on a good show, yes? Right, let's head outside at once. Everyone follow me. Alexei, wait just a... Come on then, children. Oh, I'm glad I did there, Ethan. Well, it's not that hard of a name to pronounce. It's basically replacing the Y in mummy with an A. But then again, I guess people will probably mistake it for Mumra, the main villain from Thundercats. Okay, so... out on the lakeland. Thankfully we don't have to fly too far. Hey there, Alexei. Everyone's here? Good. Let's get started, shall we? Alright. As their name suggests, vampire bats feed on blood, and originally being nocturnal creatures, they've grown more active with the return of night and become a nuisance. To draw them out, we'll use Chesimir's lures, which work by exploiting their heat-seeking behavior. The bats are wont to nest under the eaves, so if you'd like to attract more, if you place lures near buildings. I have here 6 lures, 3 each for you and me. As proof of a successful kill, I want you to gather up their fangs. Whoever collects the most is the winner. Oh, you're hunting too? Yes, well, there's nothing like friendly competition to bring out the best in Shinji. So in other words, we're basically doing that one quest from Stormblood that we did with Hien. Anyway, while we hunt the bats, the 2 of you are to stay with Reen. She's really strong too and will keep you safe. Yeah, doing your job there, Reen. Without further ado then, let the contest begin. So since we are going to be fighting for this... yeah, also I am wearing the wrong color. But we'll let it slide for this particular quest. But yeah, once I get back inside I will need to change color again. But yeah, there's some places where 2 bats will spawn and some where 3 will spawn. And as Alexei pointed out, some of them do like to chill out near buildings, so we got one right here. Let's go ahead and prepare myself for combat. And here's my opposition. Trying to make sure I can keep the camera pointed on them. And we'll give it everything we got, of course. Yeah, because these guys aren't going to hurt me too much. Like I'm barely even breaking a sweat when it comes to my health. Okay, let's go and find some more. Alright. Wow. I guess that's really a testament to the growing illiteracy in the world. Okay, yeah, we got one not far from this particular spot, in front of the XIV gate. So we'll throw one here. This one has a hair. Alright, then we'll go this way. Yeah, I do remember one having another set of 3. Yeah, I can help you out with that. Alright, so we have another destination over here. Here we have another 3. I'll wait for your friends to join us. Then blast them all at once. Load up and take them out. And boom. There we go. So we got ourselves 2 3s and a 2. Yeah, I'm not personally so desperate to get all the mounts, but of course I did get Old Lady with Matthias, you guys are fully aware. Well fought, Shinji. The children were hanging on your every move. As was I, to be honest. Though I know the tally, may I see your thanks for good measure? Oh, of course you may. Apologies for the wait. My thanks. Not a bad haul, even if I do say so myself. And so, 5, 6, 7. 7 thanks from Alice. And as for me, which means that victory goes to Shinji, who collected 8. Success. Seems you found the better spots for the lures. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed, but you're still within reach. I'll get the better of you next time. I look forward to it. So victory is ours. So children, you've now seen the Warrior of Darkness in action. What are your impressions? He's incredible, miss. The bats were down before they knew it. Our gods are strong, but the Warrior of Darkness is much, much stronger. We want to be just like him. Good. If you're looking for an example to emulate, you may as well pick the best. I want you to remember how you felt when you watched Shinji and train hard. Keep at it for long enough and you'll be strong too. If you don't mind telling us, when did you decide that you wanted to become Warriors of Light? Yeah. Well, we were there listening with everyone when Ardbert appeared, but I've been wanting to become strong since before I came to the Crystarium. The scene it has killed my father and sister, see, and I promised myself I'd learn how to protect people one day. Like Ardbert said, this is our home. We're the ones who have to protect it. We're the ones who have to rise up as new Warriors of Light. What about you, Arkle? Yeah, what about you? Me? To be honest, I'm still not sure what I want to do. But if my friends were in trouble, I know that I would want to help them. And I want to go on adventures with them, see the world together. That's a wonderful goal. You really think so? It's hard to explain, but it's something I felt when I saw the star shower the other day. I felt as though there was something I lost and that I had to go out there and find it. Yeah, your thoughts? Well, for the both of you, there's nothing for it but to train. When we return to the city, I'll teach you some exercises so you can do by yourselves.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you for showing us your fighting skills, Warrior of Darkness. We'll never forget it.
Glad we could help. Well, if nothing else there, Ethan, as of today, they just streamlined the story. They took out some of the quests that were already part of the story, so they cut it down by about a seventh. So they took about about 15% of the story out of the game as of today, just to streamline it a little for new players.
I understand how Uncle feels. The star shower didn't awaken me to Highland's voice, but that vision of the final days, of Amarat's burning, it filled me with sadness to the very pit of my being. Though I once knew things I once knew, people I once loved, promises I once made, it felt as though long forgotten memories were dancing at the edges of my mind, but when I tried to focus on them, they simply fade away. An effect of having a fractured soul, I shouldn't doubt. But lest you worry, I'm perfectly happy to remain fractured, and have no intention of donning an Asian mask.
I'm glad to hear it.
I just wish we knew what Elizabeth was plotting.
Yeah, so do I.
But look at this pair of incurable brooders. If we're going to stand around lost in thought, we may as well do it back in the city. Rest assured, Reen and I will take the children from here. Their heads will be in the clouds after meeting you, but we'll see to it that their feet firmly remain planted on the ground.
But, yeah, as she says this, yeah, we're seeing the effects of them being separated from their bodies.
It's nothing, just a dizzy spell. Seems I tried a little too hard to beat you. I'm fine now, not to worry. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, you say that, but yeah, we can't help but think of the side effects of you being away from the source for so long has finally taken its toll. As you ponder Alice's words, you were taken by an urge to revisit the scene of that fateful meeting. So yeah, for those of you who were wondering about the video that I put up a couple of days ago prior to the launch of patch 5.3, where I talked about the painstaking efforts to count every single quest that was available in A Realm Reborn, the total of quests that they took out of the 2.0 main story, the original story for A Realm Reborn, was 24, and they took out 20 from the epilogue main story. So it was a pretty good chunk that they took out. So now we're being asked to go and make our way back to the lookout. Right out at the edge of the city. Yeah, you guys now have an idea of exactly how much got cut out from 5.3. Of course, when I go and play through A Realm Reborn's main story once again, I will also make a point to highlight which quests got cut out, because I did make it a point to, as you know, to document the entire list before the streamlining occurred. Hey LJ, welcome to the stream, glad to have you with us. 46, not 48. Who goes there? Yeah. Someone's found us. And someone is mistaking us for someone else. Hi there, Elizabeth. Yeah, what are you doing here?
Why am I... Was it you who called me here?
No. You came on your own. Meanwhile, echo time. This time through the lens of a CRT TV. On behalf of the convocation, I bid you welcome to our order. At times you will stand with us, at times you will stand against us, all that you might steer mankind and the very star upon their true course. For yours is the seat of Elidibus, the emissary, and by this name shall your every action be guided. Hey there, Ichigo. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us.
So you peered into my memories. No matter. You will have found little of import.
Well, it's a start.
But I see you intended to summon me here no more than I intended to come. The fault is mine.
What makes you say that?
Such is the burden of hope.
Yeah, give back Arbird's body. Why must you embroil the people in your planes, or what are you plotting? Well, I know what I want. As the sun comes up. Yeah, as the sun comes up, give back Arbird's body.
What fool would relinquish his weapon on the eve of battle? That which I do is no different from that which you have done so many times, Warrior of Darkness.
Oh, and what's that exactly? As we welcome another new viewer to the channel, Chronix. Welcome to the stream and to the channel. Glad to have you with us tonight.
I arm myself, I hone my skills, I make ready to vanquish my enemy. You.
Well, you did make that perfectly clear before.
You who have murdered my brothers, who have taken their selfless labors in service to the one true world and turned them to ash. I see you for what you are. You are death, and only in death shall you serve any purpose.
Is that all you see me as? You really don't get to see all the other random stuff I do. Like helping out a little Mikote girl picking grapes so that she can make medicine.
The convocation charged me to steer mankind and the very star upon their true course. As Elidibus, it is my duty, and I shall see it done. I will strike you down.
Try me.
Destroy you body and soul. All else must wait.
Oh, so I'm public enemy number one, and then you lay waste everything else? With a smug look on your face.
For you, Warrior of Darkness. And I will save the world. One last matter.
What's that?
I bore witness to your final struggle with Emetselk.
Oh, you did, huh?
It seemed as if he saw something familiar in you. As if he mistook you for another.
Yeah. Yeah, there was this guy called Hephaestus a while back. He called me his new old friend.
No. I recall not of whom he spoke.
You don't know who that was?
Mayhap I never knew you. Or mayhap it is another fragment lost.
What are you getting at?
I wasn't aware you already had a guest. If the conversation is constructive, I shall not intrude.
You already are there, Exarch. And since we know it's you who's coming onto the scene...
But if you seek to stir up trouble, Elidibus, then I must insist you leave at once.
Yeah, and I'm behind you. And he's like, okay, fine. But not before he leaves the Crystal Exarch a parting gifts. But nothing happened for some reason.
Though
Yet.
you lack her blessing, your soul is surprisingly dense.
It's because his body is primarily made up of crystals. Yeah, it's essentially armor unto itself.
Worry not. I seem to be unharmed.
Excellent. Yeah, but we noticed something a little bit different. The crystals on your
Ah,
body are actually
yes.
glowing.
This is my own doing, the consequence of my recent exertions. It is the tower's way of compensating me for the demands I have placed on it. Rest assured, it is no great inconvenience at present. Indeed, I told Beck Lug as much, but they would not be persuaded and sent me away to rest.
Did you?
No need to make a fuss. Strange as it may sound, I consider it something of a badge of honor. One of the brave souls who saw me delivered unto the first once said that the world shall ever have a place for tales of heroism, so long as we have need of inspiration in our lives. Though he and his fellows had no way of knowing whether their mad scheme would amount to anything, they knew that the attempt alone would inspire hope. Or so they hoped. A more optimistic lot one would be hard-pressed to find.
Yeah, especially these days.
They said they would find a means to save our God's forsaken world, just as soon as they had sent me on my way. Said it with such confidence that, for a fleeting moment, I half believed them.
And did you?
Such faith, such courage in the face of unrelenting despair. For a long time, it was more than I could bear to remember them. But having come this far, having sent full many on their way myself, I see things more clearly. To take action is to hope. To believe, to choose to believe, is to take the first step towards a brighter future. And why do I tell you this? Because I want you to indulge me in a little recklessness.
What will it involve?
Needless to say, I have a plan. And when all is said and done, I will ask yet another favor of you.
Well, you've already asked a lot of favors from me. Also, hi, Reen.
You're both here. Oh, thank goodness.
What happened?
What's wrong?
It's Thancred. He's collapsed.
Yeah, more instance of our friends and their separation anxiety. Also, since we're now back in the situation where we can actually do so, I should probably do this first. There we go, much better. We are in the first after all. Exarch?
The fates seem determined not to allow us to quiet moments. But come, let us have the details from Marine.
Indeed we will, but before that we will choose between some pickled herring, some Moors, or a honey croissant. And since the Moors is the only one that has anything that is closely resembling a physical DPS, and by the way, you can also choose to get some money exchanged, we'll take the Moors. And now let's go ahead and speak with Reen as we cycle through her for our next quest eventually. So next is our quest entitled Fraying Threads. Reen's face is a picture of worry.
It happened after Alice and I saw the children back to Spydrix. We chanced to meet Thancred there returning from his mission. He's been shadowing Elidibus around the realm, only lose sight of him near the Crystarium.
Which is where he found us.
And he was in the middle of telling us where he had been when he just crumpled to the ground. The Convergents are looking after him now, with Alphinote standing by just in case his healing magics are needed. Since I couldn't do anything to help, I thought it best to find you, and the Guardian of the XIV told me where to look. I see. It cannot have been easy leaving Thancred's side. My thanks for bearing word to us. Come, let us hurry to Spydrix.
Yes, indeed. Someone worked a 10-hour shift today, obviously just now getting back home. Yeah, I wish I could say I had a 10-hour shift to work, but sadly, COVID-19 finally claimed my job today. After all this time, we had been able to avoid it because of the necessity of my job. But at long last, we reached a point where companies were not requiring our services, and as a result, today they fired 1/3 of the staff at my job, including me. So, if nothing else, they gave me 6 months of pay for severance, so I'm good for 6 months. But if nothing else, this does allow me to finally focus on doing something I've been promising myself I would do before the COVID-19 pandemic started, which was to go into business for myself. So now, I don't have anything holding me back. I can finally get to that. But I'll likely have to focus on doing it after this weekend's run for games done quick. Yeah, it'll have to come after I do that, at least. They dragged you here too, did they? My apologies. How do you feel? Embarrassed, but otherwise well enough. I won't be staying overnight. You probably should. This episode was not the result of any injury I could find. Thancred's ether, however, did show signs of instability, and I did what I could to calm the fluctuations. And all of this happened without warning? Not exactly. You will doubtless recall the time Oriange nearly drowned and I gallantly went to his rescue. When his water-walking charm failed, he was tired, as were you when you got back. We were both spent, yes, on account of which you begged us to rest, which in retrospect may have been a good idea. The fact is I've been experiencing regular bouts of lightheadedness ever since, but there was no actual fainting until now. Yeah, Halase, can you attest? As often observed, I have no lingering injuries, and most assuredly isn't old age, which likely leaves but one likely cause. The link between the body and soul has weakened further. Time grows short, we must complete the spirit vessel with all haste. To that end, Shinji, might I trouble you to make a trip to the source? In addition to looking in on our friends' bodies, I would have you consult Kral about our plan. If she has any concerns, we should at least endeavour to address them prior to proceeding. Alright then. In the meantime, we should get back to laying bare Lydipus's plot. Thus far, I've learned this much, that in each of the places he has visited there have been sightings of suspicious black-clad strangers. Moreover, the coming of these shady individuals has invariably coincided with some manner of misfortune. Beasts terrorizing settlements, blight ravaging crops, you know, the sort of thing. All of which serves rather conveniently to make Lydipus's call for new heroes reverberate that much more loudly in the hearts of his audience. And you think these black-clad strangers are Ascians? I do, and I fully intend to investigate further, though for that I shall require additional feet on the ground. You can count on mine. Gods know I've been itching to get out there for a while. Mayhap Oriange too can be prevailed upon to join in your efforts. He has already provided copious guidance on the matter of the spirit vessel's construction. It is for Backlack and I to wrestle with the rest. Well, if you can spare the old boy, we may as well make use of him. I'll go and give him the good news. You'll do no such thing. However heedless you are of your own well-being, if you can't offer Reen's feelings, they'll stay in bed until you're needed. Alphanode and I will find Oriange. Yeah, she'll help, don't worry. All being well, we will have the news to share by the time you return. Safe travels, Shinji. And so away they go. Alright, it's time to go back to Homeland. And on back to Moradona. But yeah, at least I can now devote all my energy to it. But like I said, that energy has to at the very least wait until after this weekend and game's done quick. Let's run on over to the Tataru. Yeah, we don't know where Kral is currently.
Oh, Shinji, what accident! I mean, awful timing!
Yeah, what's wrong?
You see, our friends, they've taken a turn for the worse.
Yeah, we heard about that.
Kral's hardly had a moment of stress these past few days.
Yeah, speaking of which...
She didn't want everyone to worry, so we've been keeping it quiet. Oh, but listen to me. I called myself a receptionist and I haven't even bothered to ask why you are here.
Actually, you just explained it.
So they think that the spirit vessel will be ready soon, and they want to make sure there are no problems at this end. You better talk to Kral. She's with the others in Dawn's Respite. Let's go and see her. Just prepare yourself, alright?
Of course. Well, it's not as if we don't already know what to expect in there. I mean, we did see these people collapse before our very eyes. Almost 2 years ago. Yeah, let's head on in. Yeah, Dawn's Respite is a lot bigger than you'd think it is.
Excuse us?
Yeah. Only a candelabra serves to light up the room, and it ain't by much.
This way.
We're not gonna stumble over anything, are we? Yeah, there they all are, exactly where we left them. Yeah, as Kral does their best work to try and keep these near corpses from becoming actual corpses. You know, she's giving it her all. Hey, Kral.
I would rather you hadn't seen this.
Well, it's not as if we didn't already know what was happening.
I'm
It's
sorry.
not exactly a secret to everyone.
We have urgent tidings.
No, I'm not angry with you. On the contrary.
Well, yeah, we do need to keep you aware of what's going on.
I know full well how hard everyone has been searching for a way to return home. And I had hoped to afford you the time you needed. But given our friend's present state, perhaps it was for the best that you came.
Yes, it is. Yeah. There's not much to speak of here.
Stiff and cold, all of them. As if they were made of wax, barely alive at all.
As we flash back to seeing how happy and live they were back over in the first. But here it's of course a completely different story.
And they had been doing so well. Save for occasional signs of etheric instability, they appeared to be in passable health. Then, quite without warning, things took a turn for the worse. A change for which even Master Matoya could offer no explanation.
And of course we're talking about the actual Master Matoya, not the moniker that Ashtola is using in the first.
She could only remind me that the soul is yet an unknown frontier, and that much and more lies beyond our ken. But let's not lose heart just yet. At times like these, it is all the more important that we remain positive. Why?
Exactly.
I but this moment succeeded in quelling a fluctuation in Thancred's ether. And while the others have weakened, they have remained relatively stable. I believe I may leave my post for a moment. So come, let me hear your tale outside.
Well, it's not like they can hear what we're gonna say. Yeah, it's not like we're gonna shock and awe them. They know what's going on, or at least their other halves know what's going on. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at them all one last time. And for those of you wondering, yes, that was an actual black shirt that Ishtola is wearing, unlike the others who were all wearing white. Yeah, I had to do a double take on that when I was first playing this morning. Kryl?
What news from the first?
Well, here's all you need to know, girls.
I see. Working on the spirit vessel proceeds apace, but our friends begin to falter. As they themselves have observed, the link between body and soul has weakened. It's as simple as that. For now, I'm still able to quell the fluctuations in their ether, but it's only a matter of time. We'll lose them if we don't act soon, so if the Exarch is ready to attempt something, let him attempt it. As for the spirit vessel itself, if we seek to draw upon Allegan wisdom, we could do worse than consult an expert in the field. And I think I know just the man. Time being against us, it may be best if I go and solicit his aid in person, even if it does mean leaving my patients.
Well, do what you gotta do there, Kryl, and we'll go ahead and take 2014 gil for completing this quest.